Ready to find out what are the biggest lies about New York City that people keep believing? Now, as someone who's lived and helped hundreds of people find their perfect piece of New York's real estate for quite some time now, I'm here to help set the record straight about what living in New York City is really like. So follow along, because we're about to dive into some eye-opening truths that might just change your perspective about the city that never sleeps. And if you happen to watch this video all the way through, then watch out for the bonus tip that I have for you in the second half of this video. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Peter McLean and finding your home is my mission. Now without further ado, let's cut to the chase. I'm tired of listening to endless misconceptions my clients often have, and I figured why not make a crazy video where I can cover the major misconceptions people often have about what New York City is really like. First thing we got is, New Yorkers are rude. Let's kick things off with a classic misconception. You probably heard that New Yorkers are cold, unfriendly, and downright rude. But let me tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, we might not stop for a chat in the middle of rush hour, but that's just because we got places to be and trains to catch. The reality is, New Yorkers are some of the most helpful and resilient people you'll ever meet. We're direct, sure, but that's just our way of being efficient. If you're lost, need directions, or find yourself in a pickle, don't be surprised when a local jumps in to help. I've seen strangers help push stalled cars, return lost wallets, and even share umbrellas during sudden downpours. In fact, a 2023 study by Time Out ranked New York as one of the friendliest cities in the world. Can you believe it? The study found that 67% of New Yorkers would strike up a conversation with a stranger. That's higher than many cities with a reputation for being friendly. So if you're considering, should I move to New York, don't let this myth hold you back. The city's got a big heart, and once you're here, you'll be part of the family. Okay, the second one goes something like, you need to be rich to live in New York City. Okay, let's talk about money. It's true that New York City real estate can be pricey, but the idea that you need to be rolling in dough to live here is just plain wrong. Sure, if you want a penthouse overlooking Central Park, you might need to win the lottery. But for the rest of us mere mortals, there are plenty of options. First of all, let's look at the numbers. According to the latest data from Zillow, the median home value in New York as of early 2024 is around $700,000. Now before you choke on your coffee, remember this includes all 5 boroughs. In some areas and neighborhoods in Queens and the Bronx, you can find homes for significantly less. But here's the real secret. New York is all about the hustle. People from all walks of life and income levels make it work here. They get creative with their living situations and hidden gem neighborhoods, and prioritize what's important to them. Maybe you sacrifice a little bit of space for a killer location, or you choose a longer commute for a more affordable area. And let's not forget the opportunities. New York City is a city where you can reinvent yourself, where networking happens on every corner, and where your side hustle can turn into a thriving business. I've seen people move here with nothing but a dream and determination, and within a few years they're thriving. So, if you're wondering what living in New York City is really like, know that it's a city of possibilities. You don't need to be a millionaire to make it here. You just need grit, creativity, and a willingness to embrace the adventure. The next one is, it's impossible to find peace and quiet in New York City. Now this myth always makes me chuckle. People imagine that New York is a constant cacophony of honking horns, sirens, and shouting. And sure, in some areas it can get pretty lively. But the idea that you can't find a moment of peace, well, that's just not true. First off, let's talk about what New York City neighborhoods are really like. Each area has its own vibe, and many residential neighborhoods are surprisingly serene. Take a stroll through the tree-lined streets of Park Slope in Brooklyn, or the charming blocks of the West Village, and you'll find plenty of quiet corners. But even beyond that, New York is full of hidden oases. Central Park, of course, is the most famous, but it's far from the only green space in the city. Have you heard of the High Line? This elevated park is built on an old railway line and is a perfect escape from the hustle and bustle below. Or check out the cloisters in Upper Manhattan. It's like stepping into medieval Europe, complete with peaceful gardens. And here's a little known fact. New York has some of the best noise control laws in the country. In 2024, the city is continuing to implement its noise codes, which includes restrictions on construction noise and even sets limits as to how loud air conditioners can be. But my favorite quiet spot? The New York Public Library. Step inside this majestic Stephen A. Schwarzman building on Fifth Avenue and you'll find yourself in a world of hushed whispers and the gentle rustle of pages turning. It's a reminder that in the city of constant motion, there's always places to pause and reflect. So if you're worried about the noise, don't be. Living in New York City doesn't mean sacrificing tranquility. It just means knowing where to find it. I love this next one. New York is just Manhattan. This is a big one, folks. Too many people think New York City begins and ends with Manhattan. But let me tell you, if that's all you know about New York City, then you're missing out on so much of what makes a city amazing. New York City is made up of 5 boroughs, each with its own distinct character. Brooklyn with its hipster vibes and family-friendly neighborhoods. Queens, arguably the most diverse urban area in the world, where you can travel the globe through its restaurants and communities. The Bronx, the birthplace of hip-hop and home to the Yankees. And Staten Island, with its suburban feel and amazing views of the harbor. In 2024, we're seeing the continued trend of people exploring and moving to areas outside Manhattan. According to recent real estate reports, neighborhoods in Brooklyn and Queens are seeing some of the highest growth in property values. Places like Long Island City in Queens or Bushwick in Brooklyn are becoming hotspots for young professionals and families alike. And here's something you might not know. Some of the best views of the Manhattan skyline are from outside Manhattan. Head to the Brooklyn Bridge Park or Gantry Plaza State Park in Queens for some Instagram-worthy shots of the iconic skyline. Each borough offers something unique. Wanted amazing Italian food? Arthur Avenue in the Bronx is your spot. Looking for beautiful beaches? Coney Island in Brooklyn and Rockaway in Queens have got you covered. And for nature lovers, Staten Island's Greenbelt offers miles of hiking trails. So when you're thinking about New York City real estate, don't limit yourself to just Manhattan. Expanding your search to other boroughs could mean more space, better prices, and a whole new side of New York to explore. The next one is gold. You need a car to get around New York City. Well, let's bust this myth wide open. Not only do you not need a car in New York, but having one can be more of a hassle than it's worth. New York City has one of the most extensive public transport systems in the world. The subway runs 24/7 and can get you just about anywhere you need to go. In fact, according to recent MTA data, on an average weekday in 2023, the subway carried over 3.8 million riders. Well, that's a lot of people not driving. But it's not just about the subway. We've got buses, ferries, and an ever-expanding network of bike lanes. In 2024, the city is continuing to invest in its City Bike program, with plans to add more bikes and stations across the boroughs. And let's talk about walking. New York is an incredibly walkable city. Many neighborhoods have high walk scores, meaning you can do most of your daily errands on foot. It's not uncommon for New Yorkers to clock several miles a day just going about their business. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about when you need to haul groceries or make that big IKEA run? Well, that's where services like Instacart and TaskRabbit come in handy. And for those occasional trips out of the city, car-sharing services like Zipcar are readily available. Plus, not having a car means not having to worry about parking, which can be a real nightmare in some areas, no alternate side parking rules to remember, and no sitting in crosstown traffic wondering if you'll ever move again. So, if you're wondering what living in New York City is really like, know that it's a city where you can get just about anywhere without ever getting behind a wheel. And trust me, once you experience the freedom of not being tied to a car, you might never want to go back. And since you made it to here, your bonus tip. The myth that New York City is just a concrete jungle. The idea that New York City is just a concrete jungle with no greenery or outdoor spaces is really a joke. New York City is home to some of the most beautiful parks and green spaces in the country, providing residents with plenty of opportunities to enjoy nature. From the iconic Central Park in Manhattan to the expansive Prospect Park in Brooklyn, there are countless places to enjoy the outdoors. Plus, smaller parks, community gardens and greenways are scattered throughout the city, making it easy to find a slice of nature, no matter where you live. So you will be close to nature. And just like that, there it is. The biggest myths about New York City debunked. Living in New York City is an experience like no other, full of surprises, challenges, and incredible rewards. It's a place where you can reinvent yourself, where every day brings new adventures, and where you can surround yourself with some of the most dynamic and diverse people on the planet. So, should you move to New York? Well, that's a decision only you can make. But if you're looking for a place that will challenge you, inspire you, and never ever bore you, then New York might just be the place for you. Come and see for yourself what New York City is really like. I have a feeling you might just fall in love with this crazy, beautiful city. If you like this video and would like to see more content, click on the boxes on the screen. Once again, my name is Peter McLean and I'm a real estate agent with Corcoran here in New York City. Contact me if I can be of service to you. My contact info is in the description box below. If you want to receive epic topics about the city of New York, make sure to subscribe and follow me here and on all my other socials. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. And remember, your home is my mission.